Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Football Weekly, presented by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox, as we take a look back at this past weekend's game at Indiana Wesleyan. And let's start with some of the plays late in the game. Let's talk about Titus Regal. He had three big catches in the second half, two on the final drive, and especially that touchdown catch. I mean, what'd you see from him? What'd you see on those plays?
Yeah, it's for me, it's just rewarding to watch him go out there. A guy that has played sparingly, on special teams, and just unbelievable person and student. He has the ambitions to be a doctor, and that's what he'll do. So for him to be in the program for 4 years, like I said, he was a contributor on special teams, but now to get out there offensively and make plays, that's what it's all about, and it's exciting to see his hard work pay off and have some big catches for us at the end of the game. And ran a really nice corner out there late, and Mikey put it on him and made a great catch to make it a 2-point game.
And then that leads into the 2-point conversion that followed. What'd you see on that play? Take me through what you saw after looking back at the film.
I would say this, a really good play design from our offense staff. And the tough thing is we have a bad snap. It takes us off to the right. That being said, we just missed the throw slightly, but we had, to me, the flat was there, and just, we put a little too much air on it. We kind of aren't able just to run in the end zone. But the reality is we have two guys standing wide open in the end zone. I mean, there's not a guy who's even remotely close, and so that snap put us in a bad position to see those guys in the end zone, and then we had to put the ball in the flat. And so, I mean, there's three guys open to play. You have to capitalize in that situation.
Well, the good news is, despite going -5 in the turnover margin, you're right there and had a chance to win against a quality opponent. But let's talk about the turnovers after looking back at them. What do you have to do to clean those up going forward?
Yeah, you and I spoke about this, but you can't turn the ball over that many times and expect it to win the game. And so, to me, it starts with us as a coaching staff. First and foremost, to put the quarterback in a situation where it's quarterback friendly, where the throws are I don't want to say easy, but he has a really good understanding that, hey, this is where the ball is supposed to be, timing, and our offensive line giving them time to throw the ball. And so those are things that we must clean up, and because we can't continue to turn the ball over if we're expecting to win games.
Defense rose to the occasion a number of times, put in some tough spots and up against a quality offense. What'd you see from your defense on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought they went out there and, at times played well. I did think for the most part we made them earn it. And I think that's what you want to force offenses to do. And so the guys went out there and executed the game plan for the most part like we wanted them. The one thing I would say is that, we went into the game saying, hey, the most physical team, the team that will play the hardest will win. And the reality is, if you look at the film, go back and look at the film, I thought they did that. And so that's a challenge to us as a coaching staff, that we have to demand it more. And then number two, from our players.
So we talk about defense. I think about Evan Annis, and he's been one of your leading tacklers in each of the first couple games of the season after missing all of last year with the injury. As a team captain, what's it been like to see him back on the field this year?
Yeah, the one thing from our perspective, he's just so grateful to be out there. When it got taken away from him, I think he was already a guy that just would appreciate it and love to play the game of football. But when it gets taken away from you, now it's even compounded that. And so I think he takes every snap, hey, I'm lucky to be out here. And so that has allowed him to be in the positions to make the plays. And, on top of that, he's very smart. He knows where to be, understands the defense. And so those are a good combination.
Let's look ahead to the bye week. What's your plan? What's your approach to this week? And what do you have to do during the bye week to be where you want to be as a football team going into the following week?
Yeah, Brandon, I feel no differently right now than I did after the game. And we got to get back to basics. And that starts with us as a coaching staff. We have to put those guys, the players, in positions to be successful. And that's number one, starts with us. And then number two, then, all right, we put them in positions to be successful. Then we have to make sure that they understand the fundamentals and techniques that they need to use to be successful. And that's where it starts and ends, because the reality is, it still comes down to blocking and tackling, and you have to be able to do those things in order to be successful.
All right, there he is, the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox. No game this week, and we will talk to you again next week on Valpo Football Weekly, presented by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.